Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Nettie Owens. This is What Businesses Need to Know Right Now. Today, I've brought with me Amy Honey and of the Honey Dare. She works with seminar companies, live events, coaches, and consultants to find where the money is leaking out of their companies. And so that's a pretty important topic, especially right now, especially as we're all just trying to get back onto normal and or whatever that means, and make sure that we're operating an efficient organization. So, Amy, tell me a little bit about what put you on this path. Like, why is this so important to you?
Well, I'm super passionate about sales, and most people, and especially women, are like, sales is kind of a dirty word. It's like they're like really afraid of it. So I started out working with seminar companies. I've been working with them for quite a while, and those sales can be pretty intense because you're literally meeting somebody on a Friday night, and by Saturday you're asking them for upwards of $40,000. So that it's a very high pressure type sales. So what I was witnessing with some of the seminar companies that I worked with is they were doing it all wrong, and they were doing an old male kind of high pressure, like, you got to get this now. If you don't buy this now, it's like, and it doesn't feel good to anybody. That's kind of the old way of doing it. People hate being sold. Mm-hmm. And women especially hate being sold.
Right.
But we love to shop.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So we love to buy stuff. It's not that we don't like buying stuff or we're not grapers. We don't like being sold. And sometimes when you're looking at those kind of higher pressure type of things, it's more about serving them on a bigger level, because those high ticket items can benefit them if it makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so holding someone's hand across that like threshold of the fear of spending that kind of money, if it makes sense to them, if they're going to get a good return on investment. So I look at sales as service, not as a dirty word. And so when I go into a sale, and what I teach my client to do, everything is energy, and I'll get into that in a minute. But when I go into it, I'm looking at, like, is this really going to solve the problem that they're looking to solve? And what's really the problem for them?
That's so important. And I really love that you pointed out that, there is a structure that was working in the past, and it was effective, but there could be a different way of doing it that's even more effective and really honors who you're selling to, recognizing the change in the demographic and how we're working now. And I like that you're kind of digging into that aspect of it, instead of just saying carte blanche, that way of doing things doesn't work. It doesn't work for good, like, for these reasons. And if we address those, then we can have a better system. So tell me a little bit about sales Tai Chi. That's something that you had shared, and I'd like to hear more about it.
Yeah. So my husband and I we're a sales team together, and my husband is very into energy, much so more than I am. I mean, we're both into it, but he's more like meditation and like he's got the real, like, embracing, like, really bringing you in. So it's funny because when we're working sales together, I call him the spooner, because he literally will spoon you.
Yes.
I guess it's kind of funny, but it's because we're looking at the energy, and some people just need a little more time, and he's got that patience for people. And so with sales Tai Chi, what it's about is it's about taking whatever anybody gives you. The moment you say no, or you say the word but, it's a block, and it's a block. And so as soon as somebody gives you an objection, you have to be able to take that objection in and then move the energy where you want it to go. So with Tai Chi, which is a form of martial arts, what they're doing in that, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's fascinating to watch. You'll see this little tiny guy up there, and he'll get the biggest guy to throw a punch at him, and the guy ends up throwing himself across the room, because they just take what energy is coming at them, and they use that energy to move the person that's attacking them where they want. Same kind of concept with this. So everything is energies. And if you're stopping the flow in the energy, whether it's the seminar room, something happening in the seminar room, or a live event, a Zoom event, or anything, you can feel that energy of the person. Like you can almost feel them, especially like in a sale, you can almost feel them completely shut down. Like you feel it, like you can feel that happen. And the moment you've done that, you have absolutely lost the sale. There's no recovering it. And the harder you try to recover that, the more you're going to push that person away. And so what we look is being in the flow of that. And so if it's a no for that person, and it really is a true no, and maybe the product, it's not, maybe you know in your head, like, oh my gosh, this is going to change their life, but they've shut down, you have to give them space, and you have to allow that energy to happen. Because the minute you try to negate it or argue back with them, you're just butting heads, and it's just a block, you know. And the word but as well. So as soon as you say the word but, you've just negated what you just said. So I could say, Nettie, you're an amazing lady, but you know, it would be great if you could also do XYZ, right? Now I just negated
everything that came before the but. Yeah.
And people, we don't think about that. We don't think about the energy on the words and the energy around the things that we're doing, you know. And in the seminar room, there was just simple little things like we almost call it feng shuiing the room, because the energy has to flow towards the sales. So if you got a sales table in the back of the table, in the back of the room, and you have your salespeople sitting there, you want it to be approachable. You want people to be like, oh no, the scary salespeople back there, right? You want them approaching you. And so we've literally seen people do silly mistakes, as silly as like putting a camera in front of that to record the speaker. Well, what do people do? They're avoiding the camera. So now subconsciously they're avoiding the sales table, right?
Right.
So it's just little things like that can block sales. And especially when you've got higher ticket items, if you got a $10,000 item or 20,000 or 200,000, people are looking for reasons not to buy. So even the littlest energy, they take it as a sign, like, oh, it was a sign, that little thing was off, I'm not going to purchase this. Right? So people are looking for that kind of thing.
You've got me thinking very much about the sales that I do, and the sales that I do, especially the ones related to events and things like that. And I'm imagining, you know, oh, were we approachable? Was there anything in the way? I'm just, you know, going through that in my mind right now. So thank you. Would you consider that whole process a ninja thought, or what does that mean?
Okay, so ninja thoughts are more about the beliefs that we got from our childhood. You know, so for instance, you know, a ninja thought, it's common for people. We have, especially women, we have a ton around money. So a ninja thought might be like, oh, anyone that has a lot of money, they're a jerk. Well, if we have that secret kind of hidden belief about money like that, how can we have money if we feel like we become a jerk if we have it? It's the self-sabotage that happens. So the ninja thoughts are more like thoughts that kind of sabotage our success.
Okay. Are there any ninja thoughts that that elevate our success?
Of course, you can have a ninja thought of like always win. I mean, yeah. So the reason we call it a ninja thought is because ninjas are there to protect you. So if your belief is I'm here to win, then that ninja is going to protect that thought. And if your belief is get the flu every year, well, your ninja thought's going to protect that belief.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And
oh my goodness.
Beliefs change, but our core values don't. So our core values are the same, but our beliefs change.
That makes complete sense. I'm fascinated. I'm thinking about how this applies to me and the work that I'm doing. If you're listening and watching out there, and you're curious too, check Amy out and the work she's doing with her husband at thehoneydare.com. I'm sure she's got some resources there for you to to learn from. If you're enjoying this series, this interview series, you can watch every other interview and check out the book that we've made from these interviews at whatbusinessesneedtoknow.com. Thank you so much for being here, Amy. It was a pleasure to have you on. I'm considering how I can improve my process, and I love that you've got me thinking so much about it.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.